Fes Gymraeg fwyl apur gêm a roen i'r unisgo sioeth BBC Alba handasgip a sio cwionon ec mwblwch i rigas jwy och gemich yn smarsau na tormwr y crochach na hachrys y diw eithaf Glasgow City agos Celtic. Fes Gymraeg agos faltir if go pathge Peter Hill an the cianad to Glasgow nest has mi an fôr y dasgip a sio i'r priafligen yn ban o fônachig. Smarsau ha tormwr y crochach i sio a adje gachskippe na pwingen coatol campwnig no sulabi cushion cwyon and give him biach gedraste ben a shen voor njolige Emma Black. Emma, many thanks for being with us here on BBC Alba, but this has got to be game of the season so far between Glasgow City and
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Given the start the season that both teams have had, this is a real test for each of the teams. You know, they've started the season extremely strong. You know, Celtic sitting in 24 points, Glasgow City 24 points. Celtic not yet conceded a goal in the league campaign. Glasgow City not conceded a goal in 2 months. So it just shows you defensively they started the season extremely strong, but not just that, also going forward. You know, we've got Lauren Davison who's scored 12 goals in all competitions, and Larissy scored in 12 goals in all competitions. So it should set us up for a really, really competitive game today.
Absolutely. Now, if we look back at the last 5 fixtures between the sides, Emma, last season, Celtic came up top in both cup finals, but Glasgow City really dominated in the league, especially at home.
Yeah, they did, and I think that won't change for today's game. I think, for me, in my opinion, Glasgow City go into this game as favourites, given to the head-to-head games last season, especially at Petershill. You know, Glasgow City had certainly edged that, and especially given the style of play that Celtic like to play, I don't think this park particularly suits them.
Given the fact Glasgow City finished trophyless last year and Celtic winning both cups last season, does that mean there's more pressure on Glasgow City today?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, that's all that Glasgow City has ever known over a number of years, many years, is getting their hands on silverware, you know, winning league titles, and that would have hurt them last season, you know, not getting a trophy in the cabinet. Yeah, they had Champions League football, they finished second. Of course, they get put out, they came out up against tough teams, so now their full focus will be, can they get their hands on a trophy, and can they continue to be at the top end of the table for the league title? And
just briefly, there's no Jacinta for Celtic today. How much of a blow will that be for Fran Alonso and his players?
I think that'll be massive, given she scored 10 league goals already this season, and she has a real good partnership with Larissy, that number 9 and 10, so it'll be interesting today to see if that will affect Celtic going forward.
Great stuff, Emma. Many thanks for more from you throughout the match. Ac y dras ysyn to all the kleintyn fod the manager yn i'r hosach i'r tosach i so mi hen crime o'r diolch fo hyn bacon fynydd yn y dash. Eileen, huge match today for Glasgow City. How are you and your team ahead of kick-off?
Yeah, we're feeling confident and excited. Should be a great game for everybody. It's the first time, obviously, both teams have met each other this season, so we're looking forward to a really competitive game.
Matches between the two sides were so tight last year. Are you expecting the same again today?
Yeah, I'm expecting exactly the same. Two teams at the top of the league, you know, looking to take away 3 points. I don't think it'll be a cagey game in any way. I think it'll be both teams being open and trying to score goals and keep clean sheets.
Celtic come into this match on the back of a disappointing defeat against Spartans in the Cup. What are you expecting from them today? Expecting a sort of backlash or anything?
No, I don't know this word backlash. I've heard it being used, but no, I have never used it. You know, we're expecting Celtic to do what they do, and they're going to come out and they're going to, you know, be really aggressive, be really creative like they are, and yeah, so I'm sure they're disappointed, but we haven't really been focusing on their result just ourselves, so yeah.
Fran, a huge match here today at Petershill. What are your thoughts going into it?
Yeah, very exciting day. Obviously, both teams with 100% record. You know, one team concede 1 goal, the other still yet to concede, and it's going to be a very important game. Probably won't means a lot until the end of the season, but today, right now, it means the world to us. So we prepare all week to try to get the 3 points, and that's what we will try today.
What kind of reaction are you expecting from your players today after the disappointing defeat in the Cup?
Yeah, I mean, the performance was very good, so I expect the same performance. I am very proud of the performance they put. In my opinion, we never deserve to lose, but that's part of football. If we put the same performance today, I think it's very difficult to lose with that type of performance. So I would be delighted if we play the same, but hopefully a little bit more clinical in front of goal. But so far this season, I cannot fault the girls. They've been outstanding.
Sinna gwn y manager yn y hynach agos sinna gwe fwms son y dras am hynnes ma dolgar ffacel an y cwydioch gyr niech arys i'r unisgo sio Derek Bach Gai.
Tapel at y chalwm. Hala gyma misgich dyr fiawn. Ha dorstig ysgyr fiawn y gamon yn hagrian yr i fi jar sy'n cyrwyr. Cordy Amasher Smith in the Cluchidrin, Aminadris. Be a fact, fluff galore, Spishin Marson, passing in the Cluche, and you can meet the Farakin Flux and make it a Hishin, Tisha Love is rowing. That's skipping, but a coalition, can you let the pink a howl fatten Hazen? City, a rutol howl, can you Celtic it kin a howl? Skiteravis Nishakin Mirik is Soherje, a city, it be Kutnetol, Kamakujo. Wanyachin, and the Cooper Leagues again, Mirik and the Glasgow women had that achrach van a skipping a shin me Warrington's Prades, Tuchin Machas, a skipper Torshoch, Gailing Gleason, Amy Muir's Maddie Fulton, a Chinishach and a skipping Nanacha. Celtic, say again, House Bajovision, that I just sent to the Spartans, over Knionoch, Schailet the Brevin Penish, a 3 achrach, Jacinta Irfakil Machmar Games, Craig, Agus Ross Kujok, Shachanach Drurishin, had chance, Gallagher, Agus Shen. Which in Shachan is skipper Torshoch, Fran Alonso, Ross Agus Craig, Chloe Craig, Agus Natalie Ross, and Miskin Yagin Revenki, Fran Alonso, India Marwaha, a cheek glade, Triple and Caloric Celtic, out there in the push to the days and Celtic, Cluther and Gorstahu. Yola Sagas Oike, Revenki, Gailing Gleason, Abbey Grant Marishan, Yola Calor, Grom Yeager and Kujok. Lorraine Watson are rated in you. Radoon, ik ben hoop ik ervaar kan jullie naar worden die Daniel Bulloch, Lorraine Watson, Van Dijk voor Ricky Robertsons, Christopher Irving, Alistair Taylor en Kerr Afrika. Hacking, City het al gaan Huddleachkes en Celtic hierdag Glazig en Hassenbecken, met Toshichin. Dus daar heeft gewoonlijk Brach, Collis, gemateriaaltje. De Glasgow City in deze dag season de Gaishach Hayol is haas knip tromme Jol haas dagke Lehich Lee Gibson Hilly Loader Jenna Clark Kujok ja Clutter Jolach Kulorach genisht Hilly Loader Agus Kelly Clark the skipper in the new Kelly Clark is even Gogan Selimi Piet Marahad the Huddles Kujok Rinyanu I'm a Jevin Jessica show Toshnis at you on the game back now the game the fair you Falkland Beerik from the skipper in Irga Dahev Clark Cinematican Dahev Chimpova Mistoshin maar hoort bij Koyun de Feinken ik bar league met een second Athenegus Rangers Uluken nu game gauw fatten deze City nu in de hele fuse 12 was in de nieuwe operator van de 12 Celtic Rangers kunt wel dit hier half. Zo hier door de zij ook kan beginnen de goeie hier door haar kind kan skippen mode het kun je regelen. Maar zijn veel meer wat ik een tagers de nu veel meer wat ik een gelig ik kan huis in SWPL kan je kutje gaan pinken als je 4 kilo Celtic has the pre kaptig good heel Celtic has the pre. Wel het stokken natuurlijk even in korm. Pre. Kan nu naam zei je in de club in Gele, a Rangers je club in United had ik in Johnny Rocha van is Rangers. Maar zijn Piet in de nu of Kapare League, ach ko hik kodru, stop nog chick dinge. Ko hik lager at de Glasgow City. En Celtic. Celtic er wel in Rash kan skippel. Zij hier zeer drip. En je kraken je ziet Chicken Lisa Robertson. Toch klaar. Lauren Davidson, Chinishach Live, Kinga Kozakishin. Zeer drip voor schijf. Zijn terug. Celtic har Chachat City. Chinchia. Toen gaan de walen gaan hij Kalien dat Hitler is. Het je nou just jelijk erishin. Je mij Celtic een week maskepelte. Athene en Karst. De zeewaal hort Chachat. De pennisserishin van Emily Whelan. Zijn waal Alain Chachat. Wel, komt dat hier. City Zacharias Davidson Fiach Mair Warden. Celtic ar seachad ar íist. Trína céir húsna sa chiad vinach. Is Spican had er bhal ar seachad as liach go héin. Gibson. Gain Rash go Jenna Clark a Mike Guloch. Ibiva go chur ar se le. Clovis Larisi. Aston ma si game seo. Si chiad vinach go le. Erin Greening. City ar seachad ar is rumla fuch go seach go héin. Bal connorseach yn y fienach ar est Lee Gibson Jaylee Girish. Mr. Robertson go goed. Seach yn y fienach sin. Emma back corner Emma. It's been a bit of a breathless start. Both teams giving the ball away, giving away, creating half chances for the opposition.
Yeah, and it's been individual mistakes, hasn't it? It's not like, you know, the first we had Clara Ryden, you know, making a square pass in the pitch for free kick, cut out by City. And, you know, that was a chance. I think I've just Chinchilla had a better first touch. She was right on and go, and then you have City up in the corner in their almost in their box, you know, trying to play short passes.
Could you get a sign of nerves? The players know what's at stake here. It's the first big game, league game of the season.
Yeah, it's a big test, isn't it, for either team? I think it will be. You know, there's no doubt about it that the players out there will be nervous because they know when you look at the league title and you're looking at the teams below you, you're not going to drop points. It's always going to come to the head-to-head games, isn't it? With the top three, and this is the first one of the season so far. So it's certainly should be an interesting game today, and it should be competitive.
Walsh yn machlis yn y hwg. City, mach Amy Muir. Amy Muir is Amy Gallagher yn nai chéler yn tyf sig yn y farg. Hier is Vic Hibbs. Kondig. Caitlin Hayes. Rwy'n sy'n treg o Shen, chor o dŵn. Eich gyda eisiau fasg a chyrich mi, hwyr i'n bawd gyda. Corner gyda Celtic. Corner gyda ysgyd eisiau 3 munud yn gile. Jacinta ymysg clwychyd yn enech Celtic. Gwyd sy'n clwychyd yn achlyg clwychyd cwyw. Eisiau charsiar ac eich gyda. Rydych yn sychau. Mitchell Johnson gwydjo. Gwyd sy'n gile hir y gorstach yn rast. Ymysg yn ygyn ha. Quadr y game ysyn. Ach hier corner ik Celtic. Gibson van de Waalaard, Dagorn, uit, Jenny Harrison. Such a fall off, Began, King of Kozakishin. Balmashin, oh, wat vier, Gormishin, nicht. Caitlin Hayes, Le Corum, ach, wat Kujo gave me Gallagher on. It's a fantastic position there for Celtic. Caitlin Hayes goes for it, but Amy Gallagher's maybe in a better position behind her.
Yeah, she is. I don't think she's got the shout from Gallagher, but what a fantastic ball. I know Caitlin Hayes has stayed up after the set piece. That's a huge opportunity. You can't give the likes of Caitlin Hayes that much space and time in the box.
She is stretching for it a bit. Oh, Merrick shot. Chinchilla gewoor if any Shakashin. Lisa Robertson is Celtic in Ishmi in the park. We get it done now, shouldn't Barton, Rash, Kelly Clark, Machenhuise. Hayes, Chinamachlish, Celtic, Balmavishin. Robertson, Machen een live geliefd. Goeie weg hier. Gewoon naar de Vrische Gijwag. Hij wil toe City. Dat moet je de mag van de leerke heen, Loder. Door die muren is. Door die Gallagher. Muren heen, Gallagher Johnny. In de rest, die is de goeie er een Hibbs en die gele. Maar muurtje de golf. Er een schachert door. Schro. Gallagher is een lekker la. I'm looking forward to this duel, the Amy Muir, Amy Gallagher duel. Amy Muir coming out on top on that one. She maybe gets a touch on the ball though.
Yeah, she does, but I think Amy Muir's done well on that occasion because she's cut across Gallagher, isn't she? So she's then cutting her off a run.
She's first, yeah. Pamela Tagonar. Not down the push, Celtic. Larissa Trevian. Gibson y Cheen, Lee Gibson dyn yn magarir y lec dawn. Fasyn mi cheintio yn hwlt yn iach gacharod. Isig dyn i. Cw higig ar y hon, yw cwga higig Imi miwr, yn eich chili loda. Ma di ffwcht yn ma'r rwy'n gisio. Loda dyn yma ar eich, miwr, sy'n chia. Gobrwch gynnal colag, fyr corym y sioch a nil bwloch. Chai irig ar hili loda. A fasyn ma, the City. It's a really nice piece of interplay there. Lovely bit of interplay here, Emma, just down this left-hand side for City.
Yeah, very good link-up. I think initially the ball was played down to Haley, but then really, you know, she's in that number 9 position. She's linking up the play. Good link-up, but you know, that's what you'll get from Glasgow City, especially when you've got the likes of Haley Loda, Chinchilla on the ball. They want to play those short passes, they want to link up, especially in the final third, and I think we'll see a lot of that, especially not just from City, but from Celtic also.
Jamie Gallagher. Celtic. There's been chances at the other end as well. I mean, Lee Gibson did fantastically well coming out of their box there and heading the ball clear. I don't think anybody was certain who was going to get to that ball first.
No, and when she was coming off her line, she read it extremely well. You know, she sussed out the danger, but when she was coming, I was thinking, surely she's not going to lift her feet, but you know, she'd done well. She was brave, you know, especially obviously with Celtic closing them down with the high press, but no, she'd done extremely well there.
Lucy larger Pilorajin Kujok. Whelan yn y fagel. Bydd y lar lys yn Lucy Taylor Otto. Nash Gilor Celtic men y park. Lisa Robertson's Taylor Otto chol larger. Chichiburi o'ch le Haley Lauder agos Maddie Fulton y sy'n cyceintio. Muir, yn siafal yr east. Chinchilla is alleen in de zeg hij dan raast to clear Walsh. You see larger at the Gallagher's loader. Whelan, but she goes in Machas and ball. They're live a look at that. And like Davidson Hickett, so Whelan, the triplet, a shot. She goes to shot, yeah. Emily Whelan, the City. Oaktail, er decent. Whelan. Sommer at haar te Caitlin Hayes het in de schachare, ze cast hier het moon, a cast. It's one of these which they look fairly innocuous, but if you're unlucky, they could do all sorts of damage. They're certainly painful.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've seen her reaction. She immediately looked over to the bench. So yeah, it's just a coming together, and she's just almost like she's rolled her ankle, isn't it?
Yeah, or if her foot's come down on top of her foot, it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, it is, but you can tell with her reaction, it doesn't look good. And Glasgow City will not be wanting that. You know, Whelan's been playing extremely well in that number 9 position, especially the likes of Claire Shine, obviously now not available. She's obviously on pastures now, but yeah, Glasgow City need that number 9, they need that regular player always there. So hoping obviously for her own welfare that she's able to continue on the game.
City yet to really create any clear-cut chances. Those have fallen for Celtic. I keep running through that one in my head where Caitlin Hayes was just under the ball, couldn't quite get above it as she would like. But Amy Gallagher clearly didn't. She obviously expected Hayes to hit the target. With a header.
No, I think if you're at the back post and you're Amy Gallagher, you've got to be screaming for that, isn't it? You know, you're free, you're coming in behind, it's a better angle, the better flight on the ball for you. But no, as you've mentioned, she's just obviously just assumed that Caitlin's going to get on the end of it, and as I've mentioned, you cannot give Caitlin Hayes that much time and space, and in the box, you know, she's very, very good aerially, not just going forward but also defensively, and we've seen the challenges from here. If you're playing a high ball up towards obviously the Glasgow City strikers, we've just seen it there. Caitlin Hayes is going to win that header, win that aerial battle.
City is zat de Schachar in de behal, kom eens go. Smith niks. Davidson. Rike haast. Nish gyda. Dwi'n si a short Clifford gen i'r falad gas Celtics. Gai ach yn y tatio hwys yr y far gyda eisiach. Sonic City i fys y bal ar eist. Arish mae'r ha. Ni gemich yn y twchtio mae'r desyn sy'n eich gen yn y tri skipin môr yr clwg yn ei chael y ffap y ses yn gysio. Neigif gen machgyp. Sbiad y cynnig yr ei chael. Fran Alonso. Hwn control nervous op het in het park. Fulton gehaald, Shen. Otto. Gallagher. Trog hoe geboeid beschikbaar le Fulton fijner wel er is. Zijn de Gallagher toch een vacht van de closure is van een rechtje. Hij ligt le vanaf. Ach, vacht gelegd in de closure. Close er vallen woipen. Maar die Fulton jyna ma fe i'r hawl jy'ch jy'ch cronisyn. So ni ma y bol ein i'r Ashka City. Mae galach y ffas gyda fal o fasyn ein, gydych mi. Moses Clark hwys y City. Dod dyn ac y bwlochyd. Whelan y Choldig, sy'n ffiach ein nod. Fa'r ystad gymal y Celtic, corner y City. Sy'n hyd o'r Urd Harakic, nach door, gaan Harakic Bulochik City. Mijn greening ma, kjaun een hier wel was in bij huis van de goal Kucheru. Nou, wat een aard. Hele nodig, kunnen vast goed. Walshit in de schakelsjen. Hij mag van. Tjege die is toch gelukkig er in Celtic version. Levy zeggen ze Rarden. Wie kent zich meneer zijn? Ik denk dat ik zijn verkocht bij City. Kun afgevoerd was Steven Hoshach. En Hoshach, Jenna Clark, gaat door die pool of Karste, eigen zijn oorsen. Huchtja, en Lauren Davidson, en Gaporin, Gatinachke, fijn genishin. Celtic first nog genoeg taaien naar een nieuwe rivale van Korak in de Pia. An awkward situation there where the ball just falls to a player, but like there's two City players who could have diverted that past taaien naar.
Yeah, and it was a great delivery into the box. You know, we've seen the first corner from Glasgow City. It was deliberately put to the back post. You see Celtic there, they're picking up zonal areas, they're not man marking, so all the space is at the back post, and the second corner come in, it's caused trouble for Celtic again, you know, City picking up the second balls, but that was a huge chance. I think it was Clark who had a chance that she could have put her foot through it. I think it just fell to the wrong player.
I think we'll get a chance. Well, she scored a hat-trick last week, so she has been in form. I'm not sure they were all with her right foot right enough. But it seems to just fall, fortunately for her here. She doesn't expect it. And Lauren Davidson tries to direct it then past Tyanar, who is in the right place, and really grateful to see that coming into her hands.
Yeah, I just think when Clark goes to hit it, she's almost falling back and it just rolls down her leg, so she's not got that good connection on it, but you know, it's a dangerous set piece, and set pieces are so vital now in the game, aren't they, both defensively and going forward, and we've seen it there. You know, they're skipping out the front post, skipping out where all the players are. Celtic are picking up those zonal areas and going to the back post, and they've won it on that occasion there.
Nu gaan de zin game hier presteert Priscilla Chinchilla in de rash hon. Hij is commercial is vast op zijn wat in je gehoord gerecht mee. Lorder nicht Chinchilla. Mag de gliep kan. Ja wie een Clark City is hij schacht de 100 Ik hoor een kutje kan kassen voor de zin hele toe. Dat Celtic in binnen zo gegriest. Ja kan ik pjakken weer goal boa. Now this pass from Hilo maybe puts Priscilla Chinchilla a wee bit far out to the left-hand side there.
Yeah, she does, but Chinchilla, you know, she's worked it well. She's taken her first touch towards in the box, played a dangerous cross in, but it's all came from Caitlin Hayes coming across Kelly Clark to win that header, and it's allowed that space for Chinchilla to go into. There's no need for Caitlin Hayes to come across Kelly Clark. Kelly Clark's more than capable of going and winning that header herself.
That's happened more than once. Haley Lauderlish. Walshik of first pool. Caitlin Hayes de fijn finishen. Ach hij heen agus greening het boeling aan de gele. Trigorstition. Ja, Hayes. Alles up. Al Connorstach Shach. Van de first through. By back naar de Puchtigschen, Selemi. Puchtig City. En hoe is Shach van de Hayes en Norsen. Tayanar Januma, when you make it Irushin. Well, I should have Shach and Elian met de a long way good. Jenna Clark, krijg je het jaar. Moeder, gevoegden. Ga je naar het je mag. Farrel in de burzit, kan lach kijken sabatje. Mag kan alleen vliegen, water. Elise Robertson. Celtic tot Shach David. Zat de Shach. Ja, Celtic het nu er is het. The game's been played at some pace, Emma.
Yeah, and I expected that. Especially the way Celtic style of play are. They want to do the high press, they close you down as quick as possible. Glasgow City are exactly the same, and on this pitch you don't get a lot of time and space on the ball, so it's making it that more competitive, which is great for the game, of course it is, but I think clear-cut chances, I don't think we'll see many, because I think it'll just be a real battle within the middle of the park. And then, as I spoke about the set pieces, I think they'll be vital for both teams. Just seen, that corner there from Maddie Fulton right on top of the goalkeeper. That's a huge threat for them, and they've obviously pinpointed that back post area as a weakness for against Celtic, and that's 3 occasions we've seen it.
Harashit legal. Agus ha hort Shafat gaan vlieg gehagresa. Kus Kafak as a rouge. Go clear Waarden in hier nog. Watch nog een nog noos. Ja, nu gaan we samen Schweinische Marco Greening. Oei Bishen. Jenna Clark had got chance to measure. Dus ik kan in de park. Dat is weer iets City strich gehazen. Het is toch geen lava noord dat je nog niet meer in de park kan rest. Chinchia Jenna Wopperva. Could you give me more? All the balls maybe in midfield are foreign City players, and they do seem to be maybe just shading it in midfield at the moment, City.
Yeah, I think Maddie Fulton's doing extremely well in the middle of that park. And you've got Hayley Lauder, she just drifts around in that number 10. She's difficult to pick up, but I think more the battles that we're seeing, the 50-50 challenges, it seems to be Glasgow City are coming out on top so far. And that obviously is not good for Celtic. That's something that they'll obviously want to rectify, and that just comes from a bit of heart, a bit of desire, isn't it? A bit of a commitment. Can you then go and win that 50-50 challenge?
Mijn voelt in mijn Irushin, maar merk gaan, mijn Greening, Shach, Kachli Hieke, Dorie te vallen van, Chinchia nicht. Kelly Clark, Chesevri, Kema, Sven Tyke, maar Caitlin Hayes. Goeie mijn Iru, hier is alleen clear for City. Chinchia, I guess Hayley Lauder. Again, they're dangerous in this left-hand side, Emma.
Yeah, and that's what Hayley Lauder and Chinchia gives you. As I've mentioned at the beginning of the game, the link-up play between they two is exceptional. But I think in this occasion, Kelly Clark's defended the 1v1 situation really well. You can see Chinchia wants to try and get it on her right foot to get a shot off, but Kelly Clark's done well.
Hayes, fall off. Lavorgo, Kenya Kozak, Hataramai Lore. Chinchia. Clark. Oh, happy weer de glach gegeven like Lucy Ashworth Clifford. Greening. Dan gaan we Davidson keren, dat is de boxen. Davidson kijkt Ash Lauder. Oh, Chirac Shachet. Bij de voorste van mij, ik haast je Michael de Rivalde. Bullock. City in the she is alive-ish. Again, they're looking dangerous down the flanks.
Yeah, and it's good link-up play on this occasion by Greening and Davidson. She's just rode the challenge. She's cut inside and she's got time to lift her head. She's played in a dangerous cross. Hayley Lauder's just drifted in. It's just by the post. Great run by Hayley.
It's not an issue really, but with Lauren Davidson cutting back in there, the only thing is her forward players had maybe almost gone beyond the ball. They were expecting the earlier cross, and it becomes a wee bit static there. Hayley Lauder nearly works it well, but maybe not quite the way they all expected. Davidson.
No, because the strikers and the forward players have already made that run, so when any player then checks back, they've then got to try and recycle the run, but that phase of play just happened so quickly. Lauren Davison then cut inside, so as you've mentioned, Whelan's already made a run, so she's now out the game, and then you've got Shinchia at the back post, so it then has to be a midfielder then that comes in to then pick up the second ball, and Haley looks like she was almost standing there, but she just picked up that position. But you know, it was great play down that side. But yeah, you're right, when someone cuts back, it isn't always good if you're a striker.
Clark, pick the first through. And then we saw just leading up to that, Davidson again cutting in off her left, off the right wing onto her left foot, having a good effort. She's getting into the game more and more, isn't she?
Yeah, she is, because I think the majority of City's play has been down this left-hand side, hasn't it, with Hayley Lauder and Chichia and Amy Muir being involved. So the form that Lauren Davidson's in, the confidence that she's playing with, you would want to get her on the ball as much as possible. You know, she's scored 12 goals so far in all competitions, and she's developed extremely well this season, you know, and she's certainly grown, and she's been brought into the national setup on a number of occasions as well, and that's massive for any player's confidence.
Is de league in in de tuig sinds keer in de tuig get heen van de sport ach hij aan de zon hij kussen het hol heens willen is moger in Gurkha City willen ook dat is just in de gelukkig is moger in Gurkha Celtic through is a Fox a show gave sapra perish ge weer wil wat toen lakkums op de perish van Zwaas Fran Alonso Amy Muir, it's in the Shachar, Amy Gallagher, Spanish, and Avaris, Gorokor, Prepenishivish, Mihin. I don't know about you, Emma, but I thought this was a penalty at first instance, but maybe Amy Muir just gets out of it a wee bit.
Oh no, I think that's a penalty for me, isn't it? You know, Amy Muir, she's committed herself to the challenge. I think there she just has to stop because she's not going to win it. The ball's in mid-air, and she hasn't won the ball for me. She's taken Amy Gallagher, so yeah, I think City get away with one there.
Corner against Celtic. Gibson, Gahamel and Mahapper Savali. Oh, Lee Gibson fin the laugh hicket. Doria Hurricane. I should shackle on it. Gosh, er zit fuse groa shach. Kimmer geum Lee Gibson en Maha. Gehot get have mismenia gehad. Tokain, Huri hicket. Lee Gibson, come City at Hoshach. Robertson, gewoon in de Brajach. Zo is alleen. Jo Greening condition. Hoshach, Ashworth Clifford. Dus Kelly Clark gewonnen. This was a fantastic save from Lee Gibson. I think it's Kelly Clark's header, is it? It's not.
Yeah, it's Kelly Clark. Yeah,
it's just in the second header.
An exceptional save by Lee Gibson. I'm just not sure why Amy Muir's come off the post, but you know, she's the ball's still in place. There was no need for Amy Muir to drift herself off that front post, but that was an exceptional save.
Lee Gibson comes City as again. Going back to the penalty, I mean, there could be a question, did Amy Muir get the ball? But I think Amy Gallagher then had the ball beyond that, and Amy Muir seems to trip her. My first instinct, same as Fran Alonso, as he was screaming about it, was penalty.
Yeah, that was my first instinct, and when I seen the ball bouncing here, I'm thinking there's no way Amy Muir's going to challenge her, and she did. But it's almost like there's a collision, the ball's between them, and then it bounces, and then she clips Amy Gallagher, and then she goes down. But my first instinct, the same as yourself, is when I seen it, I thought that's a penalty.
The referee had a different angle on it right enough, so he had a different opinion. Corner in Ishka City again. Het Dolken scoot uit zijn de coach. Gaat de hager kalen van City is wel de geholig. Van vrienden is ook kleur. Kleur het hager te show. Is vast goed. Shinchia vegen heeft een jaar verlachen door die pulach. De Kormenischko weer geprischig. Whelan. Door zijn valabla heen. Spies had de Schach. City. Clí, Short Club is in the East. Corna Shovel, Daniel Bullock, Taylor Otto, de Marco, Olivia Chance, in middel heeft gelezen. Clear Warden, Rash, Kunnen Goel, Kelly Clark is skipper, is Tosh of the East. Caitlin Hayes. Kus chance in de bal is ingevoerd, Aguri, bal Marco in Gallagher, Kejan Howell, Shannon is nog in de lijnen, Claire Walsh, als het Jace van Hieke. Fijn hikker hosje hadden. Hij kan ranken en gepucht dik. De trak van de goal in. Als je corner houden, gaat Celtic.
Taylor! Taylor! Where's Caitlin? Where's Caitlin? Get closer! Caitlin!
De figuur van de Schach. Hey, Segeri. Ik heb vast goed. Ik heb Schach in een doel. Lee Gibson. Christian Suler is zo reached. I think we're going to have another look at this penalty again, Emma. I'm not sure we're going to see anything different, but there's definitely they're coming together. They maybe both make contact on the ball, do they? It's kind of hard to tell. But Amy Gallagher then has the ball, I think, and
I think this is a better angle here, but like Amy Muir then puts her foot out to win the ball, but then she's followed through on Amy Gallagher's left foot. Because if she doesn't, then Amy Gallagher's running onto that ball, because it's just dropped nicely for her, coming onto her right foot. So I think when Amy Muir's then followed through, she's taken her left foot away from her. And as I've mentioned, when the ball's in the air like that, you can't then go and challenge, especially in the box.
Alonso, Gemakinchach, as drip finish of a Corbion. Is er al in hier te zo achter het Kalas. We hebben de goed gelukkig samen de Lee Gibson de station. Gallagher mijn muur de East. Ze muur aan geen ja goed gezegd dat. Lisa Robertson, Sheila Bauerik, Hibbs. Shachat. Wat gaat er van af? Misschien Olivia Chance. The Joverak got it. She's plenty of time in the end to take the shot on here.
Yeah, she could have even drove forward because Greening's just dropped off and you heard the shout from Lee Gibson, you've got to get closer. But she could have taken another 5-10 yards towards the goal there. That was a chance for Celtic.
And she's not been in the game all that much, actually, Olivia Chance. She hasn't seen so much of the ball.
No, she hasn't. You know, I was actually thinking that. She hasn't had much of the ball at all. I think it's been Ashford Clifford that's had in possession of the ball, and I think Caitlin Hayes is seeing a lot of possession in the ball. She's trying to make that forward pass, but even Amy Gallagher, I haven't seen much of her driving forward. What she's good at is dribbling forward, getting crosses into the box. We've not seen that either, but I think this type of game gives you that, especially given what's at stake. You know, we spoke about it, it's the game of the season so far, and it's a real tough test for both teams. This is the first test that they've had. No disrespect to other teams in the league, of course, but I think the numbers and stats tells you that. Obviously with their league position for both teams, so it wasn't always going to be a pretty game at times, but you know, it's a good battle. You know, we've seen some good 50-50 challenges. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, and it's so tight. I wouldn't see one team's outrunning the other team, or Celtic has more possession than Glasgow City. I think it's quite an even game so far.
It is strange that we've got almost halfway through the first half of the season before a split without the three title challengers having met up. Rangers, Celtic and Glasgow City haven't played each other at all till today.
No, they haven't. I think then the next game is it the 20th, isn't it? You've got City are at home to Rangers. So
just
that's
after
the next
international
one.
break, yeah.
Yep, and then obviously the week after that it's the Old Firm on the 27th. So the games then, as you've mentioned, the first 8 games of the season haven't come up against each other. Then when we come into towards the end of November, that's when the games are good. So I'm sure all 3 top teams would have looked at the fixtures and thought to themselves, okay, if we get a good start to the season, we win all the first 8 games and then they come head to head, and I think that's then obviously where points will be dropped.
Fast goes. Ik ken hier is het Celtic in de kormen is jaar groot. Stogen. nu chorm a húchtig. Like Jenna Clark is hier all amach you is a fúchas ag Celtic. Ach bwrw I goal ach a Farrock. Bygyn Farrock goal ach stoch ar y fyr yn dyldig. Lee Gibson. City ar y fyr y Farrock yn y fal. A chanel stop ys ni. Y 5 minutes yn eich siachad. Celtic ar y fyr. A laf yn o'r reclusion fod orsyn. Bygyn yr ierig ar Kozak. Fo Chinchilla. Shen. Ni byr mŵr a chwyri. Gilior ar y sydd ein mŵr. Chinchilla Chontek, sgachlwc y hili loda. Hwyl yn y gyffost chwyl, bal sgynial, hwyl yn ystau. Conor Siog Davidson, safelig. Ag tai yna, Davidson y siach. Conor Maris ag Davidson, hwyl yn yr is y gyffost chwyl. Se corner mis awn ga City. A chapper Conor Mafawn, bal sgynial. By hili loda siach yn y fiain. You would have put money on one of the two of them to score here, Whelan or Davidson, Emma.
Oh, it's a huge chance, isn't it? And it's that link up with Chinchilla and Hayley Lauder. This time it's Hayley Lauder playing the cross in, but what a fantastic delivery. You know, she's just playing it in between the defensive line and the goalkeeper. But you know, I thought when Whelan had missed it, I thought to myself, there's Lauren Davison just got a tap in at the back post, but fantastic save.
Lauder going to first through, tying out Jenna. The keeper makes a great save there as well, given that she's got to expect Whelan to get the touch and that she stays up just long enough to make sure she blocks Davidson too.
Yeah, and she's moved her feet extremely well then to shuffle that position across to the back post. Fantastic save.
Shen, Balma, the chance. Robertson, the Machko, Ashworth Clifford. Pool Vashin, Troch, Cross, Eval, Lee Gibson, Torres, Georg, Likalishko, Shafadore. The other question, Em, is, I mean, City didn't claim for it. Is there a touch in Whelan as she goes for the ball across? Does she maybe just get nudged or tackled slightly off the ball?
I think let us just have a look at it again. Yeah, I think her riding's come in. But we can see Whelan's reaction. She's not reacted in terms of it should have been a penalty. I think you always go with the player's reaction, isn't it?
Well, that was my initial reaction. She's not claiming for anything. It looks as if there's maybe contact, but I'm wondering if she's maybe just stumbled thinking I'm not going to get to this.
Yeah, there's definitely contact, but I'm not sure there's enough to give a penalty. But you know, Ryden's just come in behind her to try and put her off, and it's worked, but it's not enough then to give a penalty. But you know, Lauren Davison's obviously then made that run also, but great save. But I think we've spoke about it already. The link-up play between Chinchilla and Hayley Lauder is definitely a big threat going forward, and it's something that I'm sure Fran and his coaching staff has already looked at, and they're obviously looking to rectify that. But as I've mentioned, you can't give Hayley Lauder that amount of time on the ball. She plays that number 10 role extremely well. She just drifts in and out areas.
One of the issues, maybe Shen is really quite high up the pitch. She seems to be almost beyond Amy Muir quite often, and then Amy Gallagher and Amy Muir are kind of coming up against each other, which leaves that space in behind.
Yeah, there's a huge space, and as I've mentioned, Caitlin Hayes then is kind of drifting into the park also, which means that left back area, that there's a big huge gap, and City are exploiting that.
Here we're a big City on the seal of Carniona. Jenna Clash Cachuas van de Goal, Maravik Du, Post Kuliris, Stuchia, Hayes, no get Chinchilla, a Lavan and Martishin. Clark Shears, Shachad of Host. For acoustic Evok Mayen, and a look Limpton, Buchan. The Evok you. Again, it's not a corner this time, but again, it's a far post ball. Celtic may be aware to that challenge that City are posing them, though.
Yeah, they are, because you can see in that occasion it's Caitlin Hayes is then drifted to the back post. They've obviously spoke about it, they've recognised that City are playing all their set pieces to the back post. But, you know, it was a great block on that occasion. But, you know, City, their set pieces, they work extremely hard on them throughout training sessions through the week, so it's something that obviously they're looking to exploit. But I think on that occasion they're then going to have to reevaluate that, as Celtic have then obviously putting Caitlin Hayes at the back post, and we know how well Caitlin Hayes is aerially in the air, so she's attracted to the ball, isn't she? Wherever the ball's in the air, she's obviously wanting to go and win it.
Oh, of course. Well, Niels Mokor, Cartagher, Dachvatara, and Paul Magari, the Clarissa Larissy, Dolishach and Vian, Europa, other Olivia Chance, I guess, Lucy Ashworth, Clifford, she is a live cleat. Who can do it? She takes her time over playing in this cross. She seems to want to cut back onto her right foot, but it's a dangerous ball she plays in at the end, and certainly the near post movement from Larissa is always good.
Yeah, it's very good. I think on that occasion, Greenham, we spoke about it, she tends to drop off the players, doesn't she? She has to get closer to Ashford Clifford, but I've seen Ashford Clifford a few times this season, and she's got a wand of a left foot. You can't give her that space and time out there, and as you've said, she's lifted her head. She's looking for Larissy to then make that front post run. Great ball into the box, but Greenham again, she just has to get closer to stop that cross.
She really engineers the space for her left foot. She's threatening to drag it onto her right foot all the time. In the knowledge that that's not what she's wanting to do.
No, she's not. She's obviously almost faking to come inside, isn't she? But she's just taken that touch with her left foot and then just played in a dangerous cross. And we've seen it before, Larissy making that front post run. It's something obviously Celtic work on. Yeah, that's where Larissy's obviously getting her goal. She's certainly stepped up to the mark this season, given obviously how well Charlie Wellings did last season. She was the top goal scorer, and Celtic would have been looking at that to think who can we get in to replace that. But already had a player within their squad, and Larissy's certainly stepped up to the mark, and having scored 12 goals already, she'll want to continue that throughout the season, and she's a big player for them.
Shouldn't he shake Celtic? Was he can tell you in these and Wellings for love.
Good, well done.
Gilly loaded in the frame, yeah. Clear Walsh in. Skyner East, yeah. Priscilla Chinchilla. Has the Colby in the Gallagher East. Having Hayes and Mach in a life lead. Chinchilla Fiachin. Samen geëerd, man. Maar mijn niet beslaan, tel er aan. Happy. Het hulde van dat gezamenlijk. Heel te corrigen, schachet. Het Tariona. Ach, Pamela Tayenar. Oh, hoe die paar laven corrigen. En gezamenlijk schanje. Kagerude Tashin. Ze vallen City Hofashk. Korme Shogata. Shen Nish. Schachet er vast. Ik ga de kutje corner houden. Oh, heb je een schach. Korme Shen. Larissy go. Joe nog een schachet. Now, you wouldn't expect in the first place Larissy to give up this chance of a shot on goal herself, I think. She was at a tight angle right
It was a tight
Shen
angle, yeah,
was
I
so
think.
close. But what an effort this was, and what a save.
That was an incredible effort, as you can't, facing up Chinchilla like that. You don't know whether she's going to go down the line, she's going to come inside, but what an incredible save again. And it's certainly end to end, it's really exciting.
Corner against Celtic. He had some talk in the first two. Good job. City getting a fella. Daniel Núñez kan nog tegen beskriven, so maar wist je dat ik merkaal is dat ik schon Chinchilla rigotchinish for Olivia chance hij is loog in Chinchilla 3 oh Taschen de dus getoast tegen de boen de Taschen gaat ze bij wie spalwan hoor ik in in Harakic Corum Kylche reached she really has to do better there after a great bit of stealing. A great bit of pace. She has to simply get it on target.
Incredible bit of pace, she's just taken that first touch chance inside, but what an effort, that driving run, she's driving towards the goal, and I'm just thinking to myself, you just have to, right across the goalkeeper, you don't have to lift it. I'm not sure why she's lifted it. She's almost hesitant, thinking, what am I going to do? Am I going to try and hit it over the goalkeeper? But she just has to hit it across the goalkeeper into the net. But what a chance, and I think Celtic's got let off with one here. I think that's obviously Glasgow City are certainly grown in confidence, you can see by their play.
Chinchilla, goalloader, in de muur komen die haast. Bal gaan via uit, ze corner lukt, we gaan heel gauw met de vaart. Chinchilla is uitpillish, corner is dan. En er is, gaan heel staat er geen maar zo. Maar zo niet, maar. Is de prien wie, check wel, skeal keer ik leer slie, Nicole Goodwin. Er Chile wie klikken bal kosje zie. Of langs de creë, I guess, fishing. The clinch in the scale, I guess. She soon come to the game and ask it that quick minute we all corner in it. Zit de goede in City hoor, kan er een greening stochen. Gaan je meteen joch. It's some game though. I'm trying to think what's happened. Chinchilla at one end, Shen just wide at the other end. Chinchilla up just before that with a great save from Tayenar, who is proving her worth between the sticks for Celtic as well.
Yeah, she certainly is, but it's certainly end to end. The game starting to open up now. There's both teams are committing numbers forward, which then gives you that space when you're trying to defend. But I did say at the top of the show that I expected to see goals. Yeah, we've not yet seen any goals, but we've seen a lot of chances now, and I think both teams they are playing with a lot of confidence. You know, there's a lot of desire, a lot of commitment, and you can see the effort that the players are putting in as well. They just don't want to. If you make any mistake on that pitch, either team's going to capitalise on it.
Als je het maar voor Taylor Otto voor je bewoner is in Gaumi. Smaak er wel, zo er in passen van wat. You see Ashworth Clifford, he is the live click established in Lauren Davidson. Heeft gericht gedaan. City gave up in je maag. Overwaard geladen Gibson gave up. Sinema geskippeld uit, er zijn nog ook al. Graag ik in Jole zegje. Priscilla Chinchilla, behalve volgende van hij is naar. Morgen is in hier, ging een kozak vechten leen. Travian kwam op, pikjes in. Volgende nog. Davidson er al uit, server. City. Warden, Gallical. Jakin, dus leun het daar in het jarak, als je hier het, hij wil schachen dan een prupper de zuurlijk. Haley Lauder is een deur ja, City. I think I lost count of how many bodies were on the ground there. And I think the referee similarly thought, I don't know where to start with that, but Jenna Clark looks like she's brought down there.
Yeah, I think she's been brought down by 2 Celtic players, hasn't she?
Maybe get another look at that bit. I'm not saying I blame the referee for not being able to see quite what's going on there, because there was all sorts.
Yeah, there was. I think Jenna Clark's just trying to make that run in between Robertson and Otto, and I think that's a foul for me. Otto's got no intentions to try and go and win that ball. She's just focusing on Jenna Clark, and can she try and block a run off, and she's certainly done that, and she's brought her to the ground.
Then you get the question, is inside or outside the box, or both, or a shot, or wheeling is in, lachig yma, la taienar, Mexican achter in the push, yeah, you would have the question then, is it a penalty, is it a free kick, but if it starts outside the box, it finishes inside the box, clearly.
Yep.
Gallagher voor je pivoot, hele Lauder fijn Cass Irrivaldo. Gibson, Jean, Spishin Korstal, Eichke, She Minach, Evarach, Evisakin. Shin, Gahard Shachat. Lauren Davidson in Chile glisgeta. Maar die voelt in Jenna Magiri, die voelt in pivoren de Vaal er is. Chinchilla, Gallagher naar Hui. Oh, hoe er wat kunnen de Vaal dat, maar hoe die Gilliori in de vlucht der Kutjoks. Als je het al heen, cash voor je game Gallagher. That yellow card has been coming. She's been warned a few times, and you know Chinchilla was beyond it clearly.
Yeah, she was. I was thinking that as soon as she made that challenge, I'm thinking that's a yellow card for her, because she had 2 challenges at the beginning of the game that could have maybe resulted in a yellow card there, but at the back of her mind now, she must, even before that challenge, she must have been thinking the next challenge I make, it's going to be a booking. She just puts herself now under pressure for the rest of the game. It's a silly challenge to give away. Yeah, Chinchilla's obviously running down the line, but there's still a defensive line then for Chinchilla to break. She doesn't then have to go to ground, and the three challenges that she has done has all been to ground.
Doing Rivers food corner if it's on. Caitlin Hayes. Well, Hanil corner given. I waited it clear her to the heat. Hanunye Varak a minute Varak go shachet. Heat le shachet. Hanny Kelly Clark gemak Fashke heen. Le Kian the Hay Hamla Mach hier toch maar Lee Gibson. Ik Jan Nille. Ryan Pamela Tay naar een nieuwboot or son een uur. Zo'n Java. Ik Priscilla Chinchilla Hamla Mach Kujok. En ik Shen Mengu Fash. Vier Chorum ik Lauren Davidson Agasik. Jenna Clarks Vakorik Chinchilla. Tol de goed Kujok is stach. Het moet Tayenaar het Brisje Vunig op in vaak ken ik Jan Nille. Agus Vakorik. Booniger. Tol de goed Fashinke Keenjoch. Ik leer Sliema ha. Ik Peter Hill. Johnny at the Glasgow City. Agus Celtic.
Wel, het is een grootje geweld kuchen kujunen en kan niet zo apart komen die we kunnen zwischen de laatste wedstrijd Karstel en Horig lees het aanlees. Nes kunnen naar de zaken je kleunje, zien tolle kleintje go hey ik wil skielig, maar eentje nog, agus kan jaren heen 20. Ze kiezen geen maar haag gereden, nou je rukken die een weekje, agus hier raas een eerste klichtbal kosten. Zo ik we nest, ik al Goodwin.
It means the world. I've always played football since I was little, and just to get back doing the thing that I've loved doing all my life is amazing.
Van Nicole Goodwin y fadda cyn ffot is falling, mas da gasi overzig chien ac aanbre in jenach aila. Lys na dochter in y gra da sy jawn chlychyd y top yn y maher, gyda cwnarstawn nach chlychig I balcosha y ddiest.
It was a really shock. I didn't really know how to cope with it at first. It was a lot to take in. When I was told that you can't do something you've loved doing all your life, it's a bit upsetting. But I struggled through. I had my wee girl as well to keep me going. It's a new chapter in life where I've now got a family of 3, so that kept me going. But the day I got told I could come back, it was an unreal feeling. Yeah, it was amazing.
Chai eisiau dyn y cwl gyda triplat yn cria ora an y dafilus yn neud diag, ac am na be y bacor y fi lan tolachus.
I actually didn't find out until I went into labour with my little girl, especially the heart. They knew that I had gestational diabetes, which is a pregnancy diabetes, however they didn't know I was type 1 diabetic. They did have an idea that I would be at some point in life, they just weren't sure, and they were going to monitor me after giving birth. However, things took a turn for the worst as well after that, so it was difficult. But I didn't really know what was happening, if I'm being totally honest. I didn't understand what was going on. I just kind of had to I just lay there and taking it all in, to be honest, yeah. Everything was absolutely fine. They decided that they were going to start me early because they thought that Isla wasn't grown. And she was actually 6'8", so if I went long and full term, then God knows what size of baby I'd have had. But yeah, so everything was absolutely fine until I went down to the labour ward, and I actually struggled to breathe, and that's where the emergency button was pressed, and it just went crazy after that. I had so many doctors, specialists coming in, and they were doing loads of tests and prepping me for a lot of things, especially death. Yeah.
Ga je hwle sian gymag an lenne weichke, ach va ben y col an y cwnart, agos gar o môr an únia eichke on falche y chwyd iddyn che gan dyl.
A couple of minutes, what felt like a couple of seconds, and it was suspected cardiomyopathy. I needed a new heart and lungs, and they were rushing me to the Golden Jubilee. They prepped me for ECMO life support machine with cannulas in my neck just in case I had passed away in the ambulance, and I had to have a specialist team in the ambulance travelling with me. Yes, I didn't have any of my family. Isla was kept in the Royal, and I was blue lighted straight to the Golden Jubilee. It was all just adrenaline. I had no idea what was actually happening. I had no idea the seriousness of it. Not until I got to the Golden Jubilee, where I was still alert. When I got to the Golden Jubilee, I was told them everything that happened, but they just had no idea how serious the issue was at that moment in time.
Geforstanach gas na cól na sér agus téideachge I de thula síana hachar a gálasteach an ist.
It wasn't until I was actually discharged from the Golden Jubilee they started doing more tests and to discover what was actually the real issue. I was discharged after 5 days. That was 5 days I was kept apart from Isla. I didn't get to see her. My partner was at the Royal during the day visiting Isla, and then he was staying overnight at the Jubilee with me, so the only contact I had was through video call with him. It was a lot to take in, and there was a lot of follow-up appointments after that to actually discover what the issue was. My mitral valve was leaking, and it was leaking back into my lungs, which was causing me with the breathing issues. But the function of my heart isn't 100% as well, but we've managed to sustain that with medication at the moment. Again, they're not actually sure that it was underlying or if it could be totally pregnancy related, and I don't know if I'll ever know, if I'm honest.
Gymí orstanach gab sin déadach na triplach an sláinte ag na cól.
About 6 months after having Isla, I was getting more blood tests, and it came back to say that I was type 1 diabetic and I had to start using insulin. It was a honeymoon period at first, so you're not really counting your carbs or anything like that at this point. The nurses were kind of dictating how much insulin dosage you would take, so that was quite a long process as well.
Ach trona sin, van na cól is an fáinge das a chluich ball cosha ua dhéile.
100%, yeah, 100%. That was one of the first questions I think I had on my list to ask my heart consultant. The diabetes, they didn't really have an issue because they tell you to exercise, but your levels can have a bit of an impact on that. But the heart was probably the most serious that I had to get the go-ahead to go with that, yeah. I just take each day as it comes. I've managed to get a sustainable medication that I probably will be on for life with the heart. I'm discharged from the heart clinic, so they were quite happy with the medication and how that was coping with myself as well. So I see my consultant every now and then. It's been a wee bit of a nightmare with COVID at the moment, but I know they're always a phone call away, so it's not an issue.
Don na cól a ha fichit sa nuig blina a gúis, ha Céile John agus a nían Isla idir bhí cúte dí fat na húne.
John's been an absolute diamond. He's supported me every step of the way, and it's been really, really difficult. I had really, really bad lows, but he's there to pick up the pieces, and I get to wake up with a wee girl every morning, and some people don't even have that, so that I count my lucky stars every day that I still have her.
Mas roi traum van na cól mar fart in skip a cervical ag topper na mahar, a who is artige gan SWPL a hun.
I had a great time at Motherwell, and I met amazing players. I got to play with Scottish internationalists, and to get to where we were, we started at the bottom and we worked our way right up to the top, and we won League Cups and leagues, and it was an amazing feeling, yeah, probably the best. We were thriving, Motherwell, we'd done what we set out to do, yeah, and at this point I was still going to go and continue playing football at the top level, and little did I know I was going to fall pregnant, so yeah, that was a shock.
Hai a córta dí na cól gomór a bhí a dhas a cloich ball cos a farpaseach, agus chanéile a scuda bhí smúnich ag hást, bhí dhéng a bhí cloich ag an ide as áte a dhíist.
I would love to say so, but I don't know if my age would say. Right now, Renfrew kind of suits me at the moment. It's only a couple of days a week. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean it's not serious enough, but I've got to have some family time. I work full time as well, Monday to Friday, so family time is really important, and I get to balance that as well as bringing Isla to the football, so it's really good that way, yeah.
Hás ich na cól a cloich do bodan ich rinn frú na parai I the bliana, a jewi a bhí amach 3 bliana van a game.
Well, I know a few of the girls that play at Renfrew, and I had dislocated my knee at Gurkin, and I'd been out for a year, so that was another setback. And I was just trying to get back to a hobby and have a bit of me time. I don't think it's quite turned into me time yet because Isla follows me everywhere. But yeah, I know a couple of the girls that play here, and I just asked if they were looking for players, and Aldo just said to come along, and I've not looked back, so It's just getting that buzz again. It's amazing to be able to come back and do something that you never thought you would be able to do again. As I say, it was a surreal moment that I didn't know what was happening at that time, and I'm actually speechless to even say that it is. It's such an amazing. You can't even describe it. You can't. It's amazing just to be back doing the thing that you've loved to do since you were little.
Han Nicole is a dói an a bhí feichting in níanaige a fáin tolachas von an spáras cúteach.
Absolutely, the fact that she loves it makes it more enjoyable for me. She's more excited for me to come to training in games and a Sunday. That's her day. We come to mummy's football and that's what she loves. I also take her to her wee football and she loves it. She does. She really does. Oh, they have been absolutely amazing with her. Sometimes I think that they prefer Isla than me, to be fair. As soon as we walk through the gates, it's, oh, hi Isla, I'm kind of forgotten about, but no, they have been absolutely amazing. They just, as soon as they see her, they're making her feel so welcome, and that, it means the world to me because she is my world, so for her to be able to be joining in with something that I love, then it's amazing.
Ach an drásta, bí an sé bhéh bros na chuige maithid fó áit na párce, as he is táisce na chapajal na dríachbal cóise.
It's good to have everybody back. Yeah, we had a few games at Gurkin, just friendlies that I didn't really get to. It wasn't really game time. I was just getting back to fitness and stuff like that. But now we're back here and we're playing competitive. I've got my number 1 fan and my number 2 fan, so I'll let them argue who's number 1 and 2. But yeah, to have my family back here cheering me on, it's the best feeling in the world. Yeah.
Sciala cóiríte íontach go bhfuil ar eise go níre for a bhfuil agus tíoch go cumana dul ha íontach a bhí eise go níre go bhfuil tíoch má a tíoch sóirite má éici. Sóirite má cúteach géim ar bhíach in seo ag Petershill Park in Nioni ach chavit the núl gur sinna bhí gáil na sin na hachar is i hiadli at the Glasgow City agus Celtic. Emma Black códram hast agus Emma, just looking back over that first half, it's hard to believe it's 0-0 after. I mean, we're going to show everybody at home some of the best bits of the first half. How there weren't goals here, I don't know. How there wasn't a penalty here, we were all pretty convinced this was a penalty.
Yeah, I'm convinced it was a penalty. We did say that, for me, Amy Muir shouldn't be lifting her foot there. It's a bouncing ball, the ball's in there, you're in the box.
This came just after it. Kelly Clark doing really well to get that on target, but what a save from Lee Gibson.
That was an incredible save. That's top drawer, and that's what Lee Gibson gives you. She's got that experience, she's got that ability.
Now, down the left-hand side is where most of City's chances have come from. Lauren Davidson really, she probably should do better at the back post here.
I don't think she has to go to ground to slide that challenge in. It's almost like she's had connection with the ball and then she's went to ground to slide.
Tynar did well standing up to that one, but she did fantastically well keeping this great effort out from Priscilla Chinchilla.
Yeah, an incredible save onto the bar. You can see Chinchilla, she's facing up pace. There's only one thought in her mind, just to get it on her right foot and get her shot on target.
Because it's past her, she's pushed it onto the bar and it's gone past her. This was as close as Celtic came from open play, really. Shane just unfortunate. She almost there is a deflection, did go for a corner, but it's so nearly rolled in.
Yeah, but I think it's good defending from Amy Muir. She's just done enough. She's come up and almost put Shane off, hasn't she? She's just cut across her.
And then this really should have been the goal. I mean, a goal should have come prior to this, but this should have been the opener for City. No two ways about it.
Yeah, I think she could even square that to Kozak, to her left-hand side, but she hesitates. It's almost like she has that split second of, do I take the ball further in or do I try and lob over the goalkeeper? But for me, she's got to go across the goalkeeper. She's created that angle where she's then moved the goalkeeper, which is great. So she's then got to hit it across the goalkeeper and on target.
She fired it in too. She really hit it hard. There's
no need to have all that pace in that shot there. She just has to side foot that across the goalkeeper and make the goalkeeper make a save. There was no need for her to lift it in the air. But I think she's definitely been in two minds. But also, Kozak's made a great run. It's a counter-attack. They've caught Celtic out from a set piece. Kozak's there as well. I mean, she could have been screaming for that. That's just a square pass, and then the goalkeeper's then having to move again, and she's passing that into an empty net.
It's 0-0. Either team could be 1 or 2 up, but there's not been a lot in it. It's been end to end. Both teams have had their own periods of dominance.
Yeah, I think it's been an extremely exciting game. We did speak about at the beginning of the game that the amount of goals that Glasgow City have scored so far this season, as well as Celtic, but that we should see some goals in this game. But there's been chances. It's not like there's not been many chances for either team. There's been some good chances for both Celtic and City. The set pieces, you know, the Shane chance. But I think we will see goals this second half. I think the game's starting to open up a bit. You know, both teams are committing numbers forward, which then leaves you vulnerable at the back. But those teams, there's no City or Celtic will not be playing for a draw. There's no way there will be. There's just too much at stake, and they know that picking up 3 points is then going to then create that gap at the top of the table.
And apparently, I mean, Celtic, we heard, weren't very happy about the ball. In fact, with the balls, they felt that a lot of them were under pressure. They have been pumped up, apparently. It seems like a little thing, but it does make a difference. If it's just a little bit off what you're used to or what it should be, it does make a difference to you.
Yeah, of course it does. It's obviously the standards that Celtic have. You know, I think there was a number of players that recognised it wasn't just one, but you know, I didn't see any Glasgow City players complaining of it, didn't we? No, it was just all from Celtic. But you know, I think, yeah, of course it makes a slight difference, but we'll see obviously what the second half brings. I hope it brings the same excitement what the first half.
Tussen Dorse Gries, bijna terug. Had ze van de kloeg er in de stui. Sport dat er nog hij terug schillig geboren riest. Chinchilla. Er Chigorstein is in. A karstje in de maag, je karst voeien. Had je de maag, ja Caitlin Hayes, Evan. Chigorska, Priscilla Chinchilla show. She does catch her slightly on the. There was a lot of talk last season. I remember Chloe Craig being on the receiving end of a really heavy challenge in the Glasgow City match. That's not quite on the same territory, but it's a sore one.
Yeah, as I don't think Caitlin Hayes has got any intention to hurt Chinchilla there. I think she's won the ball, and I think it's just her follow through when she's trying to bring her foot down that she's then collided with Chinchilla on that occasion. But there's certainly no malice in it from Caitlin Hayes.
Corner of his own. The rain is something else. It's ironic. The whole way through half time, I'm not saying the sun was shining, it's been dark, but it was dry, and now it's absolutely lashing it down for the players.
I mean, I think we expect that when we come to Petershill Park, isn't it? We always do have a comment to say about the weather.
Oh, tira tashin. Voor medul van Nasash, kneva medul, van medul om krat als peace maar zeggen dat een greening tira gefeer koelischen. Tuske tira dorstigerischen. Shiva van de Wallen. Vai voor zijn druppeltje. Gerilish. Robertson. Was Clifford Cahau. Jenna Clark Gerard. Priscilla Chinchilla. Kozak Kakeleike. Spakorix toch. De gevolgen nog een bal horsla. Kinga Kozak. Faras er geen begin was. Dan is nog Jackie Koster goed. Voor ik een goeie. Gigant de Hau. Caitlin Hayes. Weer vallen voor Whelan Lish. Ik ga hem de vaart. Gard Shachat City East. Maar die voeten. Celtic gepucht de origin. Jenna Clark vergava. Gagva. Passe keer goed gegeven. Je moet dus kutter mij gekend hebben. Maar skip ik hele pucht de orst. Ik neem de klokje er een hele kindje. Ik wil passe uit de klokjes toe. Ik zijn terug voor een greening. Bal Lieme mag eens nog laten en clear over division. Cormac shows toch een wheel in de stijl. Tayanarchin van de lijnen. Pennis de hand in Glasgow. Hani Kiruata Pamela Tayanar. Huri Kasser. Wheelen die jacketje in de lijpen gele. She's almost given the game away there by saying, I've hurt my foot in the process. It means she's kicked her. But I didn't think there was too much doubt about that from the first glance. We'll see it again here, Emma.
No, absolutely not. It's Celtic obviously slacked in possession, but no, Whelan's made something of it.
There's a slight touch maybe, but there's not as much as as I thought there was. Whelan Fane Gunnevalde. It looks as if she maybe gets her standing leg. The referee was in no doubt about it, and Whelan certainly hurt in the process.
I think
they both seem to be.
Yeah, I think Whelan looked like she was carrying a knock before that incident happened, because we could see the reaction from the Glasgow City physio. She was looking obviously to... And I think that second challenge then, I think it's just... She picked up a knock, didn't she, the first half? But for me, the way the goalkeepers come out, especially with her legs first, isn't it? You're going to put yourself under pressure and your team under pressure, come and challenge like that. Whereas if you're going with your hands...
Looks almost as if she gets her trailing leg with her knee or something like that.
Yeah, she does. There's definitely a contact there. It's definitely is a penalty, and I think you can almost go with the reaction from the Celtic bench as well. They didn't react, so if they thought that it wasn't a penalty or they were aggrieved, they would have obviously would have seen a reaction. But you know, the Celtic bench are pretty quiet.
Happy wheel in the goga, encourage me. A chumrigi kuyu. Femigol, yeah, see it coup remain. Lauren Davidson, a streak kirby coup Nintol van a sport. Your city in deze. Kehen maar van a sport. Lauren Davidson en now Pamela Tayonar. 9 minutes in de gloch. In Corm, ik zit hier al Horsach. Davidson if hun voor de weetje. Corm ik knischt. Tol ik knischt. Tayonar wil genoeg glie. Davidson if hij worden. Schachotare zit hier Horsach. Klaas en Darnley. Lauren Davidson is in de rest stil. Gia tegen deze. City, the Lavin Walker in the Rouge. Fairly easy for Davidson in the end. Taina goes one way, Davidson just steers it the other.
Yeah, there's a lot of pace in that. You know, she's hit it cleanly, and as I've mentioned in the first half, the form that Davidson's in, you know, she's playing with a lot of confidence. She's the top goal scorer at Glasgow City. That's her now, 13 goals in all competitions, so she's playing with a lot of confidence. So she'd have stepped up there, knowing fine well that she was going to put the ball in the back of that net.
Dolan is Celtic Dania. She goal hier. Johnny Claire Schlie, Carmen de Dahuv. Lavin Walker in Chick City. Whelan en Sheriff haar, Keshedi in de Korstehoek. Van Jusik Tayanar. Naar Celtic het Gio weer gedaan. Lisa Robertson, Virginia and IG Chick City. It was largely self-inflicted, that goal, and they did make their own mistake, but it came just at that point when it was absolutely lashing it down, and you can see that some of the players were just struggling a wee bit with focus and concentration at that point.
Yeah, you can see that, and as you've said, it certainly wasn't.
Two of them seem to have had a wee clash just before that, so there's maybe a bit of unhappiness leading up to it.
Yeah, there was. I think when Whelan's come in, I think she's obviously put her arms up to make her stature bigger, and I think she's then caught Riordan in the face, and that's why you can see the reaction from Riordan, that as soon as obviously then Whelan's got the ball, she's then going to come through the back of her. And I think it's just more of her aggression. I don't think it's a bad challenge. I think it's more of her aggression.
Is van Baal is in die voornige Cherische Whelan. Havijn het doggen van Caitlin Hayes. Celtic being Hollichelish had the Karen Killizoon in the Valde. This is a tricky one, and you know, the Celtic making the argument that Caitlin Hayes has her eyes on the ball, and she does, but she really flattens Whelan too. It's a tricky one, this.
Yeah, it is. I know, and we've spoke about it all game, haven't we? The aggression that Caitlin Hayes has when she's going for any ball, especially in the air.
And she does win it.
And she does win it, yeah, and her eyes are obviously fixated on the ball, but I think it is too much aggression the way she's came through Whelan. But it's a dangerous situation here.
Davidson, Reward, Farandarakic, Kujok, Mach, and Olivish, Ikisha. Stratakic in the game, Ministr. Kennedy Carson Boye Carnegie Celtic, yet in the Yerig. Ian Pierre Viorison. go Ashworth Clifford. Fulton. Uncle Loader. Celtic leis a chance ar a stop na Jenna Clark. Mark Davidson. Davidson knows go Fulton. Ball na mach go wheeling an ist. Luckily, Greeningle chimicolore. Chacharish McVay chunishin. Chanya Bulloch eich gyn a casan. Nis chinishin go show for an duer Claire of Ireland. Going to go back to this booking for Claire of Ireland. We could see she was a wee bit unhappy just before that. Nick, keep your eye just the bottom of the left screen. There. I think there's a bang. Is there an elbow? Back of the head, front of the head from the two players? It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, it is. I don't think it's intention from Whelan. I think the way she's just backed in, she's almost just hit Riordan, and then obviously Riordan's reacted, and that's why she's been booked. It's the aggression that she's shown to come through the back over.
You can see they were both sort of rubbing their heads after it.
Yeah, and it's the aggression that you can see obviously with Riordan's face. It wasn't a bad challenge, but as I've mentioned, it's the aggression, the way she's done it to come through the back over. And I think Celtic on that occasion, I think they've just lost their heads a little bit, haven't they? There's been a few challenges that they've not been happy with, and we've seen Caitlin Hayes has been booked, Riordan's been booked, Gallagher's been booked.
Daar Doheen. Natalie Ross ag Shin Minglu, Jushel or Sanchinier. Quatolye Maha. Out of a night, Dolye Shin Mingu, Dolye Shin Minglu, Dolhinir, Shin Holiver in the Vahaul, Natalie Ross is Nahatchet. I guess out of a shack, Dolye Kujuk. Amy Gallagher. Eentje nog, die is er weer klukje is in de Tuv Gynne Farg. Now, we were talking about this at half time, Eamon, that most of City's good stuff in the first half had come down their left, Celtic's right, and that's almost the right hand side of Celtic being changed now, Shane off and Amy Gallagher off.
Yeah, I thought they'd actually have made the change sooner. I know obviously we're just only 10 minutes or so into the second half, but that was a big threat that Glasgow City were exploiting, was certainly down Celtic's right hand side, and we did speak about it. It was the fact of Chinchilla was playing between Amy Gallagher and Caitlin Hayes, so she was getting a lot of space and time on the ball. Celtic will obviously change it now, brought on fresh legs.
Davidson is in there, Pikaga Healy Lauder, they're establishing the Kelly Clark. Joe Hughes is in Natalie Ross is in the ball in your ash, the Celtic. Shane Menglu, Nish, Feinier of Allers in here to her. Balmashin, Rima Kujo, Corum Sorisha, Brachta, who is Gastap, get that. Ashin Dolheen. Shane Menglu, Jenny Magari, Chin Ferravinki. Clucky Bassa, Shin Shears, all in the got Clarissa Larissy. Almost an instant impact from Shane Menglu. Larissy has just gotten that wee bit far, maybe though. Oh, that's really tight.
I think it's tight. I think Jenna Clark's almost in line with her, isn't she? But no, we did speak about it, as we were saying, that Celtic's right-hand side was certainly an area that City were exploiting, and Franny's coaching team has recognised that. I did say I thought they'd have changed it before now, but we've got fresh legs on now, and we've got Natalie Ross in the middle of that pitch, and I think we spoke about it the first half, that for me, Glasgow City were certainly dominating the middle of the park. They were coming out on top in that midfield. And there's still a lot of minutes to play in this game, but Natalie Ross then brings you that aggression. She brings you that calmness and possession of the ball. Celtic will be looking for her to make an impact.
Davidson, Gigoc, fast. Robertson. Greening. Kahili to Lee Gibson. Lauder. Back nu in je is te de Walde. Ja, van de Chinchilla voor de Schach. Met een goal. De corner ik zit ik het. Shen Menglu, Januma. Shen de King nog een Chinchilla vastgeren. Jeez, Shen is de skipper. Ik Celtic Shen Mengu er al je Shen Menglu. Dit. Walsh is Clark. Who's van de whole greening kutje kondru. Fulton Lish, stay moon pioneer. Huri Laver, Huri Dorner. Yemige kutjok, Saprichiganish, Cormac Celtic ook gekomen in de park. Chance, de Rosses of Wien. Laris hier in de verhaal. Yemige ballen in de piaar, ga je geen muren, de stad geverst getap. Over News Elena. Here's Lisa Robertson. She's go. Clifford. Ball Ma. Gibson's in the market that. Probably isn't for a goalkeeper of that, of Lee Gibson's quality, but your heart must be in your mouth to some extent on a day like this when it's fired straight into your cross goal.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially it's so slick and wet out there.
Kuser of Alishin, Hamai Wheel and Hickett. All the way follow it.
When the ball's in there like that, it's easier for Lee then, isn't it? Whereas, as you mentioned, if it's drilled across the ground, then it's more dangerous then to defend, especially on this surface, especially with the weather conditions.
Players have been finding it in this second half particularly just a bit difficult to get the way to pass right.
Yeah, I think it's obviously the conditions. We speak about it each time we're here, don't we, Derek, especially at Petershill. But Glasgow City are certainly used to that. It doesn't seem to faze them. You know, they train here daily, on a daily basis. Obviously, all their home games are here, so they're obviously more used to it than what Celtic are. And I said at the beginning of the show, especially the way that Celtic want to play and their philosophy and their style of play, I don't particularly think this park suits them. I don't think it's wide enough, given that they've got their three centre-backs and they're two wide players, and they like to play that diagonal switch, and it then means that the Celtic players have then got less time and space on this pitch.
All that the who's for the goal. Laris CSA Gibson. Amach go kleedje box ich gegeta. Maar zo nog al. Dus ja, soort Clifford hier voor je zijn vier wil je te gaan laten varen. Kan we zo live glie. Laris is heel told je que c'est league. Met een decent set. City, le game in the Hibs. Ik ga het gaan. Ik ga het zien. Je ziet in hier hoor je nog de groep League. Celtic in de game achter is goed. De game in de national dat je niet kijkt. So Robertson look at the match with Celtic. Natalie Ross. Shane Minglu. Can they stop the loader? Corn Giliorish Nick City Mala Hoglarish Kinga Kozak. The Gerashko Lee Gibson. Kushin Kman is Sochkere. Was in Arnold yet. Through a give a shin. Shin Bong Hifjarlish Stoke get that. Jenny Kinchuk can come in Mala. Kelly Clark can in Hofashka here there. The toll lane Celtic. Met de base al Lee Gibson. Celtic kusvorm in de groep zijn daar shot. Maar die voelt in Jenny Maggie Rich en Chimigel gaan naar high creek greening. Otto. Nou, de weer vallen voor Russian. Action the Kinchuk. I think you get Kyle for him. It's quite a different second half, Emma, to the first half, which was end-to-end breathless stuff. It's not exactly cagey this half, but there's not quite the same intensity about it.
No, I was actually thinking that. I think the game's died off a little bit, and I think that's obviously came from Glasgow City getting their goal. You know, you can see how long, like, for example, on this occasion, Lee Alexander's then taken to take her goal kick. It's almost like Glasgow City are taking now the sting out the game. Whereas Celtic, on the other hand, you know, they're looking to react quickly. Look, you can see O'Riordan here, you know, she's wanting to get the ball back in play. There's obviously still a long time to go in this game, but you see Celtic still want to try and play with that intensity. Glasgow City, on the other hand, you know, they're trying to take the sting out of the game, they're trying to kill the game off.
But there was also that few moments where things were getting a wee bit heated. There was a couple of challenges, got a bit meaty, and quite often things die off after that. As long as it doesn't come to head, they die off slightly.
Yeah, and I think that was obviously just after the Glasgow City goal as well, wasn't it? There was a few Celtic players were booked. You've mentioned it, a few hefty challenges. There was a lot of aggression shown, and that just comes from frustration as well during the game. But yeah, it certainly is died off now. But Celtic will be looking, obviously, when they brought on their fresh legs, they'll be looking for them to make an impact. Glasgow City, on the other hand, you know, they'll be obviously just be looking to keep their 1 goal lead and not make any mistakes.
Celtic gyma mi holger sy'n beirdd nŵl gyda nachgys yn y cor. Sat y Siachafi. Davidson. Hocht in yr east. Bal Martian, Kinga Kozak, Joe Chluche. Marco Whelan. Hael Morans af Oxe. Ie, mi gysyn yn Cash gyda Caitlin Hayes, gain yr falaf. There's a has excellent play by City down the right. Meant there wasn't much in the box, but Caitlin Hayes couldn't take that chance.
No, it was good combinations, it was good build-up plays. City were patient, you know, and Whelan was seeing her on this wider area rather than being inside the box. But you're then looking for Chinchilla to make that run. But that's a big run coming from the back post to the front post because Whelan has drifted out. But Caitlin Hayes, you know, she had to get something on it. She has no idea what's come behind her.
Lord, real love and art into this. Shachan Vian, oh, greening around the her counters. Celtic at home is in your falaf. Chia, Dolphin of line. Do them get a corner of a game. Should the host less rated, I could rate it. I guess I can go get a prep of Maham Celtic. Minglu, Kamala Dolph is Javala. Ross. Three, usually will be a chance. Jenna Clark. Stats, Chinnamachlish. Future show Kinga Kozak. Whelan. Agus Davidson is surely Hele. Chinchilla first Groen. Jackson for Roy Gayori. Whelan. In the east. Alias Hulderisse. Clark. En de Machs of Oxach. Rekin. Jachafarabo. Ashworth Clifford de Gary Notion. Davidson Shach de G Shake. Wel Vig met de Bay Kinyahalakal. We should tell us show.
You just can't do that, can you? Not?
I'm not surprised that Ashworth Clifford was giving the referee a bit of a look there, but
it's a dangerous position that she's put her team in again, isn't it? Especially when you've got like the likes of, in this occasion, Hayley Lauder. You know, the conditions, whipping that in swinger into the box.
Lauder. Man is such a shach in the park. The hacker akuyu. Chinchilla avec the carry que first through like Greening around in the shach. It called. I'm not sure Greening was going to get this, but you wouldn't expect Chinchilla to be winning a back post header.
No, that was a surprise there. I thought it was actually Greening's shout that we actually heard. You know, she'd seen it coming in and she was coming in late. I'm not sure she'd have got on the end of it, but it was a great run and a dangerous delivery once again.
Chinchilla. Corner round. Victor Schuler reacher by Knox gevangen server. She wanted the free kick, not the corner, I think, didn't she?
Yeah, I think I would have wanted the free kick also.
City being a wacher hoek. Jäger. Weer Prades. Giselle er zijn hier. Ach. Big Horner Rigual en Toshoch. Lauder is Riest. Riest mag doen genoeg. Walter als van de wien. Oh, Janika kan nog wel van ik tijden. Heb zo je weer. Heb or da gilligol ar a bháil a chuair Pamela Tayanar. Da lábhan ir. Cormisionish ga Celtics noch, ik am nille. Larissé gyda fi ein. Gibson gylwachge Casavach, Lee Gibson, Janumach. There wasn't much of an angle for Clarissa Larissé there.
No, there wasn't. It was a good counter-attack on that occasion from Celtic. I think for me, she's got to square that. She's got to hit it across. You can see obviously Olivia Chan, she's made a great run. She's got time, you know, there's not a City player near Chance but in the box, but she's not going to beat Lee Gibson, from there.
I think it was Amy Muir who missed the header, though. You really can't do that in that sort of position when you're the last player.
Absolutely not. And then Celtic got numbers forward. It was a great counter-attack. We've seen it the first half, City doing the counter-attack from a Celtic corner. We've seen Celtic do it on that occasion, but when you're in those situations, you've got to make the most of it. You've got to then take advantage of that situation, because it's not going to happen very often in the game. For me, Lariss's got to square that.
Aragille, die Prades Junior, Kinga Kozak, Italia. Volgde nog ook vanaf. Agus Prades Junior na hartje. Celtic stríð is wel gaan gehaast, heb het gehaald. Gumshin Minglu Malachke. Chance gehouden daar. Davidson heeft ik Bjarnes de Kool Orard in de zinnach. Hapuri fijn hikken. Liv Ferguson could je gehouden met de Celtics van hier. Fijn de sturing zin. Whelan, bal kan een tuchtje maken. Hokali in Chinchilla at in the Bahal. Die is lower Farkishin, Chinchilla's shin. Chinchilla. Fonishin, Bucking Koos. And we are finishing the game Bullock, Urut as in Darnley. We haven't seen quite as much of it in the second half, but she's not been shy to have an effort the couple of times it has. I think she's calling for a corner there, but it looked as if there was maybe a tiny touch on it.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, we've not seen Chinchilla as much on the ball as you've mentioned, but she's still playing with a lot of confidence. You still can't give her that opportunity to then come inside. We all know she wants to come in off that left-hand side onto her right foot to get a shot off. You've got to then show her down the line. You've got to keep her as wide as possible. If not, she's going to continue to pose a threat.
Willemma Ferguson here, I guess Ashworth Clifford Urgo yet. Ferguson hier al nog een live yesh. I guess Shen Menglu hier nog een live Gleege Celtic. Should be onder Lauren Davidson. Alonso. Kamelchen. Och, Minachin Chiak. Man hoort me Hibs City. Is een game. Is hier gewoon op de hoek League Station. Als je game begint international te gaan, had ik een Rangers. De game boor. Ach, de drie skip in Keinig het al zeggen Jeskers kun een fijn gehaal vatten heesens kunnen gaan nu tolder willen zeggen nou. Als je op er een mooi Glasgow City. City niet je hoort Celtic en Wotteken ik los het. Chinchilla, Haley Lauder, Roos in het kutjeken. Sapasha gehaald. City, Haley Lauder, Chinchilla rimmelde vuurtjes Chinchilla, Chinchilla met die game zoren. Porto wouden voor een macht gaan geleid. Staat er naar de Haley Lauder. City goal in Unie. Geen maar wat op de waarheid. Lauder, Raschko, voeten. Chinchilla. Rosúla a jins, fúltan na fiach in o'r bysach. Gyda thor o'r hen sy'n ein y siach. Colin the Cassin Picken. Siach op Cajura first. Fúltan is sy'n lycan mi in the park. For a Calcar yn gacareitio it. Corum Sean is Olivia chance. Gídoch Yusi Lee Gibson. Is yn o'r clwydr City yn y siach fyr y mwynheichge. Ach. Van o'r fair siach yn alarm yn Lee Gibson. City expected a free kick in the midfield there, but Celtic were quick to break and chance, she really hits it straight at Lee Gibson.
Yeah, I think it's on a weaker foot, is it not? But it's a great awareness from Natalie Roche just to play that pass first time. No splitting through the City defence. I think for me, Chance could have actually taken a touch towards the goal, you know, and it just obviously closes the gap down between her and the goalkeeper.
Shane Falava, Lauren Davidson, Hippa Lickel, at Guri Silver Celtic, a Chaumi Dol, Shane Menglu. Van die Maasje. Bal Kullerstoch. Tall! Shane Menglu is het tall, Celtic. Walshing is Gibson, Cole, like Jenny Booth, Rashing City. Sa Celtic, Rash Kujunen. Gaan je maar kijken, je zegt het Lauren Davidson, ga je nooit zeggen dat er een naarne tje, goed joh. Agus, ga je zeggen en wie een, Sherry, goed het. Well, zo'n de hoere bal, je zeggen die lien. Shane Menglu does really well down the left-hand side here, but City are not happy.
No, they're not. I think she's made a huge impact since coming on off the bench, but you know, she's facing up Greening, you know, she's then cut inside. I think it's poor defending from Greening. For me, I'm not sure what Walsh is doing, or Lee Gibson's gave her a shout or not, but it's definitely a cross, there's no doubt about it, she's crossed it in, and I'm not sure what Walsh is doing. You can see Lee Gibson's reaction, she's certainly not happy with that. It's just almost like she thinks it's going by the post.
Yeah, it's one almost as if Walsh suddenly thinks, if I touch this might go in. I'm not in the right position to do it, but Lee Gibson expects her to be doing it, to be dealing with it.
Yeah, when a ball comes into your box like that, as a defender, you've got to get something on it. You know, it's regardless of our players round about you can't just put your hands up and move your body out of the way and allow the ball to run by you. I think if she just stands, it almost just hits off her in front of her.
Oh, Cornish can you think of Lee Gibson? But you're right, she has made an impact. There's no way it was a shot, but she does really well getting past Lauren Davidson and then absolutely just skins Greening down in the corner as well.
Yeah, we spoke about Green in the first half, didn't we? I think she's not getting close enough when she's in her 1v1 battles or 1v1 situations. And then Shen Mingwell's just come inside of her, but I think her reaction, Green, is almost like she stops as well, but it's definitely a cross into the box. But, you know, it just evades the full City defence as well as Lee Gibson.
Til Nurmaha, 3 minutes in Gia Grigolf. Tushach tu Tolicha, Toink in the Howl. You can hear this, and then you go with Tolichach Rangers. Oh, it fell off the Negi pull off it.
Keep going!
Or did the hook out UC chance?
We got time, guys!
Please, Palma, Larissa 3, Clarissa Larissa, Uneike. Oh, was je nou aan Ga heen bal, Neike, gaat Russen, zeer. There's no, you have to say that the league's current top scorer, you would expect her to be scoring here. There's no two ways about it, Emma.
No, absolutely not. I'd have put my mortgage on that. When she was free, I'm thinking she's got to score that. She's just fresh here kicked it. Like, it was a fantastic through ball. Great run from her. Yeah, it's just she's just not had any connection on it at all. But as you say, you know, the league's top goal scorer, I'd have thought to myself, yep, this is in the back of the net.
And it's not great from Morrison, but it's not great from City either. It's a really simple ball over the top that they don't deal with, and they don't follow the run very well either.
No, they haven't, and that's not something that we haven't seen throughout this game for City, is slacking defensively. And in that occasion, obviously just before the goal, it could be that goal's still affecting Walsh, especially if it's her that's not matched the run properly. It's almost like she's too high up, and there's no pressure on the ball. As a centre back in defensive line, you've then got to drop, because that's obviously where the danger's coming. It's going to be a long pass, you've got to drop if there's no pressure on the ball. So I think maybe that goal in that situation's affected her just now.
Shin Kusur Lee Gibson Hickett. So Celtic did a the goal has totally changed the game. City looked really comfortable, even if they weren't creating much. They didn't look as if they were under much pressure, but now it's totally different.
Yeah, it's totally, yeah, absolutely. You could see, as we spoke about, that Glasgow City were trying to kill the game. You know, they were taking a long time to take a throw in, take a goal kick, and it was frustrating Celtic. But now you can see the ones that are frustrated are Glasgow City. Celtic have certainly upped their game in the past few minutes since they've got their goal. You know, they're searching for that winner.
It is the danger when you try to kill the game. If it doesn't work, suddenly you've got to pick yourself up again and change your mindset. Whereas if you're chasing it, you continue pushing.
Yeah, and there was such a long time. I think it was at the 70th minute they were trying to kill the game. There's still 20 minutes plus injury time to be played. It's not like you're in the last few minutes of the game. You can't kill the game. You've got to continue with your game plan, continue pressing forward. It's being 1-0 up, it's a dangerous scoreline, isn't it? Now Celtic are on the front foot. You know, they're the ones now that are pushing, they're the ones that are playing with confidence, and I think the substitutions that Fran has made has obviously had a huge impact in Celtic. It's been a positive change.
Greening. Robertson, dat was ruim niet dicht. Uit mijn bal gedaan. Nou, zie je hier is, hier is genossen. Je gaat de vaak klaar. Zat de schach ik Celtic, is heel een kapper. Al er is gewoon alleen maar slaan we niet. Otto, dus de reungie. Als je nog een haag gehaast, heb tolles geleden ballen gemeld, al op de borst. Shin Minglu, Shachter, Davidson. Lisa Robertson, bukken er hier got it. Robertson er een afschuif. Hij gehaast. She's begins je lijnen. Walsh zit nou. En ja, Clark, ja, Walsh van Cumberland Cup. Zijn een kindje of nog een Celtic er afschikken. And Celtic have rung the changes, City less so, which I think is almost a bit of the pattern this season, but it's hard to know what to do now. You know, do you stick, do you twist, do you keep your faith in your players?
Yeah, I think for me the changes that Celtic have made have had more of an impact than what the change that City made. You know, Mignon obviously got the goal, and Natalie Ross has brought that aggression in the middle of the park, that calmness into the middle of the park. And then Ferguson's come on, she's done extremely well also, but Celtic now are on the front foot. I think that goal's certainly shattered Glasgow City, isn't it? They're now thinking, what do we do now? Do we then push for the winner, or do we try and keep obviously this point and see the game out? But still a long time. It only takes a split second to score a goal, or someone to make a mistake, and the opposition's capitalising on it.
Please. Regen, zie je komen de bal vallen bij hele Loderskaart. Grijnje. Sasha managed. Bal terug gewonnen. Dat kan houden. Geef het eraan. Ferguson gentleman who is official line. Chelsea jij wil er allemaal maar ha. Greening. Oh, hoe ik het niet hoor is in Greening. Tussen de bal. Chumil ar falla van y clwyddr yn y Celtic yn actúr I balda. Robertson, Shin Minglu. Shin Trug. Lisa Robertson, fe'n cast for you. Goed Erik, Steyer, Fulton. Gallagher, agus Hayes, agus O'Riordan, agus Robertson nulig ar ôl Leo agus Celtic. Robertson, oh, we should never Lisa Robertson. All the way at Falder Boyper. Yes, really, I think in fact in the close when the way to the shin be mogul. See fair cast for you, for Jenna Clark at the door you should. There's no malice in this, but it's a bit chancy having just had a booking to kind of slide that kind of position.
Yeah, I think that's why Clark is obviously questioning the referee. There's no need for Lisa Robertson to go to ground there, you know, and Jenna's used her body there, well there and seen the ball out, but that could have been potentially another booking.
Yeah, she kind of feels she's been tugged back by Greening on the edge of the box, which maybe she was. Emma, if I should pick a player of the game, who's your nod going to?
I think there's been a few candidates. I think it's been such a cagey game that there's not one player that stood out for me during the game has been Lauren Davidson. I just think she's playing with a lot of confidence. You know, she's stepped up a big game, stepped up, took her penalty calmly, put it in the back of the net, and she's put in some dangerous crosses as the game's gone on. And not just that, I think she's worked tirelessly defensively also.
Game maar weer. Means Mary Fulton stoch in de jaar against City va Shin Minglu zomer je mij gezegd is geen ervaart. Er is toch niet kan je ploeg wielen de waan viagen wie dansen van een niet in de Celtic. Celtic. Ik geloof dat het Celtic nog 6 we mag als een de doel. Hoe is het in die City ja Celtic maar hier ook allemaal met zich het lekker zomertje. Dus vanavond en daar te zien. Natalie was er het tarry garage zien. Van Paredes notion de lekker. Laris is hier al naar die gestaan. En die laat box zag chance. Natalie Ross is kachachin gaan in jimbelen is Ross er uit. Verschillende jaren gaat ik het als bal terug gewandeld. Dat is de Laris er als ik. Colin Kaya to the east. Slightly missed opportunity from Celtic again there. Just she was in her own, she had to wait for help, but then the pass to Natalie Ross was just behind her.
Yeah, it was, and I think City defended in numbers there. You know, they managed to get bodies round the ball. But for me, you don't want Larissy out in that wide area, the one that's playing the crossing. You want her inside the box. But she makes a fantastic run. You know, just the pace to get away from Walsh down that right hand side is frightening.
Good. Martin as Kujok. Clark counters with Greening smachter. Hij had chachat en is Lisa Robertson met haar keer minute in de vara. Chance is Larissy is een chance Chontek gericht. She is gaan nog anders. Hij vindt corner Celtic. Pars fwy gyda Jenna Clark sy'n sy'n mi cwjog. Chanach yn mynd sy'n fan camera gan i'r ysymod. O'r amser. Corner a Celtic. Chicken Meerig in the game. Oh, she is erig lach gyda Lily Gibson. Gaan eich dyn i sŵr sy'n gyda Caitlin Hayes of awn the year. Ich gebarte sy'n hisge door sy'n gyda eisiau sio. Like Peter Hill. Hwys van de goal. Hij gaat maas in jaar. Amy Muir, daar is al live glie. Hayes, fiach mi chymel yn y ffaith Capurigi, sap de Shachik City. Muir is Shach in de focus, Muir haast lish, Dokkelar, Haley Lauder, Cormashog Davidson. Davidson, het is stat, Lauder. Paul, Haley Lauder in City. Is skipper, als een winnaar voor Jirig. En nog kilo's het hou. Wijnkiek City een mooie vaart. Amy Muur wou de groei met truppeltje. Schier zal live glie. Muur kan schach in de vuurkes. Mierig hou Hanneke gelooder van Kormenik. Grun zo. Amy Muur does so well here to just drive into the box with it.
Yeah, she done exceptionally well. I think before that, the Fraser play, it was Amy Muir that had that driving run forward, wasn't it? And then she's obviously, Glasgow City have taken the quick throw in. Amy Muir's shown great strength, you know, trying to hold off Caitlin Hayes. I actually thought the opportunity had been missed when Lauren Davidson then had her shot blocked. But when you've got Hayley Lauder, you know, you give her that time and space, especially on that left-hand side, on her left foot. You know, she's just put it across the goalkeeper, no chance. And what Hayley does is she's so calm and she's so composed, she's not lashed at it, she's just comfortably placed it across the goalkeeper.
Gibson Jenna Foy, Caitlin Hayes, who's from the goal, City, Gian Marn, Ball, Gian Vaidiri, Chinchia, Chinasoni, Jamahias, as a notion. I think the key word there was composure. Hayley Lauder knew she had a bit of space, a bit of time, and just looked to find the only route she had to go, really.
Yeah, and it was, and obviously Hayley Lauder picked up the second ball. Glasgow City reacted first, with obviously when Lauren Davidson's shot was then blocked, it then dropped to Hayley, and you don't want to, that's probably the one player that you would want the ball to drop to in the box, such late on the game, pressure situation, and it failed to Hayley, and that's what she brings. She's got that composure, that calmness, and you know, she's certainly obviously been leading this Glasgow City team the first few games of the season with that captain's armband on, and then she's shown all her experience and her passion and desire.
Caitlin Hayes, tre, is steun in a car, Laris Inish, Lee Gibson, Jenna Sohorish and Marish, Nani Gemach, er son is dat le kaun, Silmi Keraun, Doi, Chorik and Gumi Shittemach, Grish Paul hard, Tirch net up Plutch. There's kind of alarm bells ringing at the back there for City because they can't cope with these high balls. But Lee Gibson, I think with her head, pulls off a fantastic save there.
Yeah, once again, no, they can't. Any ball in there, you know, Celtic are winning that first, but what a save from Lee Gibson once again.
Davidson finally killing it. Priscilla Chinchilla, tegen de maag van de goal. Ik weet niet meer, want ze hebben mag ze rug gezet. Walsh. Hayley Lauder kan starten Celtic Geriche door het. Kormach Geriche in hoops. Hier Prades. Kan starten Nisle Waarden. Rörtli Natalie Ross. Greening Gahukal en Nichts. Kormach Davidson toch een relish. Eigenlijk Wieleners en Genianu. Normaal de reer vallen over hem. City, het in de wagen Abby Grant. Het al in dit geisen. Krijg nu chicken de waar ook Gehu. Wielen ha Chinje. Dat is Grant die Chinje. Zie dat als een thee. Ja, dat. Voelt ik hem maar zien. En Gavriche City, massa zo'n uit. Shin Mingley, Jen Magariru, Kamar, Davidson voor de wal shit. Zo wie schachter, maar die voeten. Rish Hayrile, She, Hurin, Tull, Celtic. Geri Thor heen. Robertson going to be een bal naschen. Oh, good shit te weer. Al tussen me. Ach, huchtja. Aan de vader Glasgow City is een huchtgezag geheen. Dat kan de gorst in de City zijn. Als je niet hier kan doen. Ach 4 minutes in de Gelting had er goal Shachathoorn. Otto, Hurt, Walsh. En de calendar of Alder. Fulton, who is Ganadlish. Oh, Chichia stay. Priscilla Chichia. Er zit het restal. Samelijk Scanner. Oh, ze hebben Grant in Ocean's nerves. Tashin, Erin Tashin, ich geheen, Kelly Clark. Oh, Rish Vakorbisho. We've only had the 3 goals, Emma. We should have had about 6 or 7. And that's the second time Chichia has been clean through on goal.
Yeah, and it's just poor defending. It's a slack pass from Otto trying to play in Kelly Clark. And I think you can see by Kelly Clark's reaction how disappointed and how angry she was that she tried to make that pass in the first place. But on that occasion there, I thought Chinchia's going to score, but you know, the goalkeeper's made a fantastic save again. I think it's just not enough angle or not enough direction. But she's done the right thing on that occasion. She's obviously tried to open up her body.
Shachat, zijn de plekken voor ook Glasgow City. Hier het game dat de skipper more in het deze. City have een level noker, en Celtic ha kaul. Ze tuchtje maar asher gierig. Kan je wanneer City ach kutjok Rangers. Hukaunje, Mistanica, Njoni Claire Schlier. Als je Corman Kljorvik, Kartu, we zich hier het Ga City Rojoch, voor Celtic het hele rasch in de game. Maar Noorsen is een winnetje voor Jierig. De Gunja is toch Haley Lodger is skipper in nog Kassavukus. Er stond het hol, de Gerischach. Game zo'n maar kan je zich hier de game 4 goed er mag hoe liegen daar. Glasgow City boven nog een paar hulke hun. De short Peters Hill. Emma, City take the spoils. A real last minute goal. And you have to, they were probably deserving of it, and then they probably just shaded in chances maybe.
Yeah, I think Alderson had it down. Glasgow City had more shots and goals, more shots off target. They did have more chances, but you know, just showing obviously the strength and the commitment there that we've seen from Amy Muir. You know, she was the one that first initiated that, the first phase of play. They've then taken the quick throw in. Amy Muir's shown great strength to hold off Caitlin Hayes. I then thought Lauren Davison I thought the opportunity had then gone, and she'd cut in on her left foot. The shot was blocked, and the second ball was picked up by Haley Lauder.
Emma, thank you very much for your company. There's a lot to come in this season still, I think. Ach City, Iatsen, if you are not skilled to get that team against Celtic. Shinagol and Vizakis and Hibs on the Cooper League. Ach station, we had Cluchanai Rangers Iganai, Hickshin Harishin on the Chutan. Ross County St Mirren, Akanye, and Ayakun on the Free League, Iknifurnich. Shin, Ike Harn, Shiawurin, Tranjakin in the Washington Station, St Mirren against St Johnston. The Naigola, Ike here in Yashin, Achanoshin, City and the Rangers, Shit, the Nagame Akas League, City Agus Rangers. Here Session, Game Morelli, the show, Peter Hill, Ach City is born of a new nice Celtic.
Wel, Sian ac away, mae ha i'r unesgo'r sio fo ffarca Peters Hill aber game sganyl y fac yn iawn ei ho eith BBC Alba Glasgow City y tîn yn bar. Chwn yn ahyrys, mae'r Sian Leif.